amigos, seguidores do canal Investidores, bom dia, muito bom dia, nesta quinta-feira, dia 12 de junho de 2023, 2026, aliás, dia do temporário do Brasil também, né? Mas eu estou passando aqui porque há 2 anos atrás eu fiz um vídeo curto sobre o maior IPO da história das bolsas americanas, que está acontecendo hoje, dia 12 de junho. E esse IPO é em referência, ou melhor, é da empresa spaceX, do senhor bilionário, Elon Musk. Bom, o IPO é hoje, cara, e eu estou passando aqui só para atualizar.
Well, thank you, Gwen. Gwen Shawwell has been an incredible partner and was one of the first people to join the company. And so thank you, Gwen. Oh, she's in New York, of course. Where is she? Yeah, it is certainly hard to believe that a little company that started in a warehouse in El Segundo is now going public for with the largest IPO that ever. And let me tell you, if people had told me this was going to happen, I was like, man, you must be smoking some really good crack, because I think this company's going to fail. I mean, I gave SpaceX less than a 10% chance of succeeding at all, to be clear. In fact, I told people this. I said, look, we're probably going to fail, but we should give it a try, because if we don't, if there's not a new company that enters space, we will never be a truly spacefaring civilization. While the other aerospace companies, they build good rockets and everything, they were simply not pursuing the technology that's necessary to make life multiplanetary, to make Star Trek, to make the exciting science fiction futures that we've read about real. And that's what SpaceX is all about. It's to take the fiction out of science fiction and create an exciting, inspiring future for everyone. We want to be able to take anyone who wants to go to the moon, anyone who wants to go to Mars, or anyone in the solar system, and maybe beyond the solar system at some point. We want to be able to take you there. Not just a few astronauts. I mean you, literally you. If you watch, whoever you are watching this, SpaceX wants to be able to take you to the moon, take you to Mars, and ultimately beyond. And I'm confident at this point that with the incredible team that we have here at SpaceX, that we will do that for you.
A outra é aí a 128, de ontem. Aqui a RDW, ontem fechou 17, RDW.
I always think about this. There are always problems on Earth. There are always problems on Earth. There are always things that we wish to be better, that we want to solve here on Earth, and we should solve them. But there also have to be things that get you excited about the future, that make you glad to wake up in the morning, because you can't wait to see what happens next. And that's the future that SpaceX wants to bring to you.
addresses the troops. Let's get the opening billboard on Wall Street at Fifth Third, celebrating changing its listing from the NAS to the NYSE, largest bank listing shift ever. At the NASDAQ in Times Square, at Star. offering. And it's Steve-O in Chicago. It's the Illinois Public Pension Fund Association, nonprofit founded in 1985. Jim, watching him speak, you reminded this company's almost a quarter century old.
No, it is. It gives you chills. I mean, maybe that's what I feel about. I mean, I was reading Peggy Noon last night. She's one of my absolute favorites. She's talking about how there's certain things that for the just 250 years of our country, and when she was talking about Rocky, I get that. It was a nice dramatic piece that she wrote. I see it. I see Rocky, and I give her SpaceX. I think that this is a monumental, hardworking story that, David, I really think most Americans seem to be able to. Is there something we can unite on, or do you think it's because he's a trillion? I think we can. Be a little ethereal, maybe even sappy. I don't mind that, but that we can unite on this. I think most Americans are very proud of this. There'll be some Americans who say he's a trillionaire and it's not right. I don't think that comes to mind for most Americans. Not after all the hard work you put in and how this. You could say was doomed to fail.
It's a great story of what they've accomplished. There's no doubt about that.
But isn't that terrific?
And they're what they're hoping to accomplish in the future. Sure.
Like, let's say they can take satellite, just bombard the world with satellites very early
on.
The
world? Well,
I mean, let's say they take.
It's an important part of their business model is to get the Starship up and running and then be able to release the V3 satellites, which will greatly enhance the capacity of Starlink, and then eventually allow for the transmissions that will be needed from data centers in space back to Earth.
It's going to happen. Look,
that will be years and years away, but that's certainly an important part of what their ambition is.
You've not been to a launch, right?
I have not. No, I want to.
Okay.
Now, as I said to Joe earlier,
go to a launch because it's one of the most exciting things on Earth.
The launch cadence is going to be such that all of us can go to launches.
Yeah,
because eventually they're going to be needing
like a bus.
Yes, every hour, on the hour.
Like the M104? What do you mean?
Yeah.
Really? It stops at 70 seconds?
Exactly.
Okay.
Now, there's the promise that you're talking about and harnessing the aspirational nature that we had in the 60s where you were looking forward to the future overall.
Yes.
But then there's the valuation, which is a completely separate discussion.
It's not as, I don't think you can view it as a typical piece of paper. And I think there are a lot of us who say, listen, it's $sign represented by man, don't be involved. But there are some things that transcend, and you're saying that man has ideas that we don't know about.
I know, but you're not saying you would pay anything for this.
No, I thought that I didn't want it to be bigger than some of these companies that are incredibly lucrative. And then that would also bring out flippers, and then it would destroy the share base. I had to listen to how Cerebrus was much better than NVIDIA for days on end, and it isn't. I see, just so you know, David, that worry that I had about the NASDAQ 100 rebalancing is already coming into play. A lot of Microsoft for sale. That is just related to this rebalance.
I know.
I think.
I mean, listen.
It's not happening yet.
For the purposes of today, we're focused on the mechanics of the IPO, on obviously that man, Elon Musk. We will have many conversations around valuation, but I would come to the Wolf note today. By the way, apparently the analyst does have a PhD.